Hey everyone, it's Madison. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a first impressions on a product that is brand spanking new. And I mean, it is really new. I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation. I saw this online a few days ago, and when I happened to go into Ulta a few days later, it was there with all these other new NYX products. So I'm going to be doing a first impressions on this product. I'm really excited to try this out and see if it's some good stuff. So if you would like to know my first thoughts on this product, definitely keep on watching. As far as any additional information on this product, I believe that it comes in 5 or 6 different shades. It's not the biggest shade range, but again, you don't find huge shade ranges, you know, with drugstore products as far as like concealers or foundations. So I believe it did come in 5 or 6 different shades. It may be more, it may be less. I believe that it was $15 or $16. Now the reason I don't have any of the exact information is because I can't find it online anywhere. I'm not sure if the Ulta that I went to released it early on accident or something, but I haven't been able to find any additional information like the price or how many shades there are. But I'm going to try to get you covered and informed on any of the extra information besides the price and the number of shades, you know, in the product. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with the packaging. Just comes in, kind of gives you a preview of what the product looks like. It says on the back, let me just read what it says on the back of the product. It says, with just a few drops, our Total Control Drop Foundation delivers sheer to full coverage with a velvety matte finish. I'm all about that matte finish. I got oily skin really badly. Simply adjust the number of drops you use until the desired level of coverage is achieved. More drops equals more coverage. What this product actually reminds me of is the Too Faced Custom Cover Drops. I don't know if you guys know about this stuff, but it's also a pigment foundation as well. You can mix it with moisturizers, highlighters, you can even mix it in with another foundation, and you can kind of customize the amount of coverage that you want. This NYX foundation kind of reminds me of it. It doesn't mention anything about mixing any highlighters or moisturizers with it, but I mean, with a drop foundation, you can do that, especially since it seems like a pigment foundation, because it gives a guide on the back of the box on how many drops you use depending on what amount of coverage that you would like. So I'm really excited to try this out. I didn't use the CoverFX custom cover drops much, and I probably should have, but I'm really excited to try this out. So let's go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get into the product. So it has a very nice, beautiful frosted glass bottle. It just says NYX Professional Makeup Total Control Drop Foundation. It comes with 0.43 fluid ounces of product, and that's pretty much all it says. I think it has, yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and kind of get up close with the product. It has a round dropper. So it seems pretty liquidy. Doesn't seem very thick, but of course that can be a totally different ball game when you're actually using it on your skin. So I'm pretty excited to use this. Now, it did mention a matte finish, so if any of you have oily skin, this might be a good foundation for you. I like to have matte finishes on my skin because if I get oily throughout the day, I won't be having a even more oily finish on my skin compared to actually wearing a glowy foundation and then getting oily throughout the day. It'll be that much worse. On the back of the box, it does share how many drops that you will use based on the amount of coverage that you want. You use 2+ drops for coverage, 3+ for medium, and 4 drops plus for full coverage. So I will be testing out all of these amounts of coverages and seeing if the guide was, you know, really accurate. Now I am going to be priming my skin because I always prime my skin for foundation. I never ever skip priming my face for foundation. Like, no matter what foundation I'm wearing, I will wear a primer. So I'm not going to skip a primer, but I'm going to be applying a mattifying primer in my T-zone on one side and leaving it alone on the other. So I'm going to see how the foundation holds up for oily skin. Now, this doesn't actually come out and say, oh, this would be great for oily skin. It will defeat and fight against oils coming through your foundation. It doesn't say that, but it does say it has a matte finish. So we're going to kind of put it to the test for us oily skin girls. So like I said, I'm not going to be skipping out on any priming, so I'm going to start off with my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, and I'm just going to apply that all over my face. After I apply the Maybelline Baby Skin all over my skin, I'm going to apply my Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer, and I'm only going to apply it on half of my T-zone. so we can kind of find out how the foundation will hold up compared to a face with mattifying primer and then with nothing on it, or no mattifying primer on the side. So I'm going to make my right side of my T-zone the side that I prime with a mattifying primer. So on the back of the box, it says that for light coverage, you can do 2+ drops. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go with 2. It does say to shake the product. Can you guys hear it? It sounds really liquidy, like watery. Can you hear it? So it says for light coverage, you need to use 2 drops plus. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 drops for light coverage. I think I'm going to go ahead and just apply the foundation directly to my beauty blender because it seems very watery and runny. So I think it'd probably be the cleanest to just apply it straight to my beauty blender. So I'm going to go ahead and apply, 1, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just divide this all over the skin. It's making little dots everywhere. Okay, we're just gonna, divide this all over the skin. Now this is for light coverage, so it may not seem like a lot, but alright. So I'm gonna blend that in with my damp beauty blender. That didn't seem like a lot of foundation at all. Like, I know it's light coverage, but even for light coverage, it seems like that you would use, a little bit more than 2 drops. But we're gonna see. I'm not gonna judge yet. Alright, so that's it. Honestly, I feel like it didn't cover anything. I have like quite a few blemishes at the moment, and it seems like it was just very sheer. Now again, I understand that it is lightweight, but I feel like that was less than light coverage. You know what I mean? So, I mean, of course it blurred out some things, but I feel like for light coverage, you could get a little bit more covered. But if you don't have any problem areas, then I guess you wouldn't have to worry about it. It would just give you like a nice, light coverage on your face. So, but I do have quite a few blemishes, so, but it does feel very lightweight. So, I mean, I feel like the foundation wasn't that pigmented. Like, I feel like 2 drops, it barely, it didn't really, it really didn't seem like enough to, evenly divide over my skin. But we're going to go ahead and let's see. The next amount of coverage or level is medium, and that's just 3 drops. So I'm basically just going to add 1 more drop because we added 2 for light and there's 3 for medium. So I guess I'm just going to add 1 more drop. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's add 1 more. So 1 drop. That looks like a very light amount, but we're just, see, it's like, it doesn't seem like a lot of. Alright, I think that's all the foundation we're going to get out of 1 drop. So let's go ahead and blend that out. Alright, so, I mean, it blends out nicely. It isn't like hard to blend out. It's, very easy to blend. But I feel like this is what light coverage should look like. And this is actually based on the little guide on the back of the box. So I feel like this is actually what light coverage should look like, but based on the guide, it actually is medium coverage. But I mean, it does feel pretty lightweight. It was easy to blend out. The only thing that I'm not really pleased with so far is that I feel like the guide was a little bit off. I don't feel this is medium coverage at all. I feel like this is what light should be, and that's 3 drops, not 2. So in total, I mean, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and continue and go into full coverage. But the only thing is, I feel like the guide was a little bit off, so I can imagine, I mean, I'm not sure yet, but I can imagine that we're probably going to have to add more drops than the guide indicated for full coverage, because this is not full and I don't think it's close to full, and we only have 1 more drop to add. So I can't imagine this actually getting to full coverage with 1 more drop, but we'll see. So on the back of the box, it says full is 4 drops. So we already have like, technically we have 3 drops on our face right now. So if there's 4 for full coverage, all we have to do is add 1 drop. Okay, that was 1 drop. The shade's very nice. I totally forgot to mention, but I'm in the shade Light. So it was a very nice shade. I think that there's one lighter shade, and I think that's Fair Porcelain. Either one, I'm not sure. Or it may not, that may not even be it, but Light was a good shade. Alright, so that was a total of 4 drops. I feel like I could use, honestly, way more coverage, like a lot more coverage, because I have so many blemishes going on right now. But I'll bring you guys in for a close-up. The redness is still peeking through. I honestly feel like the guide was way off. Like, this is in no way full coverage, because you can still see a lot of my blemishes, It may be good coverage if you have like no blemishes or no trouble spots at the moment, like whatsoever, but honestly this is not full coverage to me. So we're gonna have to just kind of do this on our own now and add more drops. I can imagine that I'm gonna do way more than 1 drop at a time, but maybe 3, and we'll see how it goes from there, but I'll bring you guys in for a close-up. So I have a trouble spot right there. I think that's actually dry skin. Yeah, it's dry skin. I don't know. I have a blemish on my forehead, some just redness over here, and I don't know. Guys, I'm not feeling it with the guide. I feel like it was way off. So that's the only problem I'm having right now. It doesn't seem to be caking up though, but I don't think it could cake up with the minimum amount of coverage that we have right now. But we're going to go ahead and add more. There's still redness peeking through, so their definition of full coverage I feel like wasn't very accurate. So we're going to go ahead and just add more drops on our own. 3, 4. Let's just start off with 4. See, now it's looking much better on our beauty blender than just a small dot. We're getting a little bit more coverage. So along with the drops that we have already used, hold on, we've used about 4 drops when we were using the guide, and I just added 4 more. That's a total of 8 drops. And for the minimum amount of coverage that we have, I don't know. I think we're almost to medium coverage. Probably we're in the medium coverage zone, but that took about 8 drops. So that is quite a bit. I mean, I feel like there is a lot of product in the bottle, but I feel like if you want flawless coverage, you're going to have to really add some drops in there. So we're gonna go ahead and just add more and we'll see how it goes. So I like how 4 drops is going, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 4 more. 4. Alright, we're starting to get a little bit of that redness covered up. So we're getting there. Alright, we're gonna blend that down the forehead. I am going to add about 4 more and then we're going to see, because that would be 16 drops. So we're getting a pretty good amount of drops on our skin. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop at 16, because I think at that point we'll get an amount of coverage that I like. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to blend that out. Alright, we're starting to get most of that cover, or the redness covered up. So we're good on that. It's really nice. I don't feel like it's accentuating my pores, but kind of blurring them out. Of course, that could have been the primer, but it's all looking nice so far. So I believe that we added a total of 16 drops to our skin. I feel like the guide kind of slowed us down in the process of building up our coverage, because each level of coverage that you went up, you only added 1 drop, and the foundation wasn't that pigmented to where it could literally add a whole nother level of coverage to your skin. So I mean, of course, on the back of the package, I mean, it does say 2+, so I guess you could use more, but generally it just recommended the amount of drops, or if you wanted more you could add more. And of course everybody has different expectations and they want different amounts of coverage, but I had quite a few trouble spots and I feel like the diagram was pretty far off from what it was claiming, or what level of coverage it was claiming. So I am liking it right now. It's a very nice shade. It doesn't look cakey. I don't look pasty. It covered up a good amount of my my blemishes. I do have a bit of redness peeking through, but my cheeks are usually pretty red. But I feel like if I wanted absolute flawless coverage, I would probably add quite a few more drops. So I think I am going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll see how it goes, but I'm going to add 4 more. 1, whoa, 3. We'll stop there because I think I poured a little bit too much, but we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Alright, let's blend that out. But yeah, it does have a pretty watery consistency, and I don't have a problem with that. I probably would prefer to just apply them straight to my beauty blender, because they're so watery you don't have to worry about, you know, them running down your fingers. Alright, so that's a pretty good amount of coverage. It feels very nice. It doesn't feel too heavy. Isn't looking too cakey. It is kind of looking a little bit rough around the nose, like I feel like it's not wanting to go in there. But I think I'll give you guys a close-up to it so you can see what I'm talking about on the nose. let me get my beauty blender. Do you see that? How it's like, just looks real funky on the nose. I mean, of course, a lot of foundations can do that. Just because the nose is kind of a problem area sometimes, I feel like, to some people. But see how it's like, looks funkier on the nose? Do you see? Yeah, I think y'all can see. But anyway. But it looks nice. It doesn't look cakey. I keep saying that. But it looks pretty nice. There's a little bit of redness left on my cheeks. You can see it right here. But overall, it's pretty nice foundation. The only thing that I was kind of disappointed about is how many drops that I actually had to use to get like a full amount of coverage, which isn't very convenient. But I mean, I don't know, I think once I actually finish my face makeup, I'll maybe be able to get it more like a better idea on the complete look, you know, because any foundation, you know, you're like, I'm not sure yet, let me finish the rest of my face makeup. But I'll be back in a minute. But it has a nice matte finish, so we'll see how it holds up to my oily skin. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my face makeup, and we're going to go ahead and I'll give you guys an update, and I'll check it throughout the day. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, so I just completed my makeup. So the foundation looks really nice. I think, you know, once you get concealer and everything done, it looks very nice. Has a nice, just overall even finish on the skin. It does look matte, so I just look like a matte girl. Have matte skin and stuff. So, I mean, it does look very nice, and I really like it. It looks really nice. I don't feel like I look very cakey at all. It didn't cover all my blemishes, I can say that. But they do have a lot of redness to them, so I could have maybe like color corrected and stuff. But it looks very nice so far. Just very, like a very clean, even finish on the skin. It looks matte. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't appear cakey. So it does look very nice on the skin so far. I will be updating you guys throughout the day. It is 3:25, so in the afternoon. So I will be checking up every maybe 45 minutes to an hour. So I will give you guys updates throughout the day, and I'm really excited to see how this works. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright everyone, it is about 8:30. I'm sorry that I didn't do any checkups throughout the day, and I'm sorry that I look a little bit crazy. I'm not feeling very well. I'm kind of under the weather, so I wanted to go ahead and do my last check-in and give you guys my final thought. I feel like it did sink into my fine lines, which are my smile lines, and then it totally rubbed off on the nose. Like, I can totally rub it off, and there's makeup. Can you see it on my nose? It broke up around the nose, so I'm not really sure if I'm a big fan of it. I will give more like final thoughts in the description box below. Let me see. I can't really feel a difference between the oily side, or from the mattifying primer side, and where I just left it alone. So I can't really tell a difference, but I feel like the wear of it wasn't very long, and it didn't really stay fresh, and you know, it didn't stay in place throughout the day even though I used a primer. I was outside and I did sweat a bit, but I feel like the makeup really broke up and lifted off the skin, and I did use a primer all over my skin. So I will bring you guys in for close-up and tell you what I'm talking, or show you what I'm talking about. So if you guys can see it, like, I can totally wipe it off. See the makeup on my nose, or on my finger, and it sunk into the fine lines. And it just looks really rough around this area right there. I mean, look at the nose. See how bad that is? So I don't know, guys. I don't think I'm very impressed with this. So of course you guys can always try this to see if you like it personally, but I don't think that it worked out for me. For the amount of money that I paid and the result at the end of the day, I feel like it didn't really stay on the skin. The mattifying primer definitely did make a difference in how it wore throughout the day, because it totally smudged off my nose, and I did sweat a little bit, but it was barely anything, and the makeup completely lifted off. So I don't think I'm a big fan of it. It just seemed to like really move and slide around on my skin, so I don't think this is a good this is a hit for me. So I probably wouldn't recommend it, at least for me, but of course you're always free to try it if you'd like, because you know, you make your own decisions. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the product. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this first impressions, and I just thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe. There's a little button on the end screen, so it'll be pretty easy to subscribe. I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.